Hey there, it's Monday, let me check the date, July 22nd, 2019. I'm doing my testosterone shot. I'm a trans guy, 7 years on T. And then what I'm going to do after that is read Chase Ross's apology on YouTube, because nobody's ever done it, and he hasn't either. So, yeah, if you want to skip ahead to that part and not see my testosterone injection, which is an intramuscular injection, I'll put the time code linked in the bottom in the description that you can skip ahead to. And then you can view Chase Ross's apology on YouTube. And I apologize for it being my T-shot's a day late. It's a weekly injection of 0.5 cc. And it's a day late because I somehow lost track of time. I was really excited to do it on Saturday, and then for some reason I guess I did some errands yesterday, and I forgot it was Sunday, so c'est la vie. So I just did my draw up with I always forget, 18 gauge by 1.5 tip, and this one is a 22 gauge by 1 inch. I'll do it in my gluteus maximus, because like I said, I've been doing the injections into my leg, and my legs are very tight from exercise, which is a good thing. Alright, you will not see anything because, again, bumhole is way down there. You will not see anything that's X-rated. And, like I said before, I want to separate where the bum line is. That's where my bum line, and then my outside of my hip. Halfway is here. From top to bottom, halfway is here. So I'm doing it over here on the outside of the gluteus maximus. So pop her in there. Do a little pull back. Make sure there's no blood going in. If blood comes into the syringe, that's okay. Just take it right out and try again. But do not inject if blood goes into the syringe, because that means you're in a vein, and if you inject testosterone right into your vein, it'll go into your bloodstream, and you will have extremely high dose of testosterone. And that's it, it's all done. So I don't know where I put my Band-Aid, but it's not bleeding. And that's it. Okay, so yeah, we're at, can't see the time. 3 minutes, 50 seconds, something like that. And now I'm going to read Chase Ross's apology on YouTube here on my channel, because I haven't seen it read anywhere else. So I'm reading edit made December 23rd. I'm now reading it. This is Chase Ross's words. Edit made December 23rd, 2018 at 5:34 p.m. Just as a side note, I have not read this whole thing myself, and I have not read out loud since grade school, and I'm post-grad, so I'm beyond post-grad. I'm 43 right now, actually, and I've been on testosterone for 7 years. So, okay, let's begin. Edit made December 23rd, 2018 at 5:34 p.m. I'm adding to the beginning part to the apology I want to make. I want to take as much accountability as possible, and I am trying my best to learn from my mistakes. Not finding the best words the first time around is not a reflection of how I sincerely feel. And he begins, I am sorry I hurt you. He is addressing Aaron. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher your last name, Aaron. And Snotty. And on Twitter you can find him under Aaron Linguini, which makes his last name much easier. Thank you. Okay, let's begin. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I did the things that were abusive. I'm sorry I would talk over you. I'm sorry that I did not create a safe space for you to talk to me when you didn't feel okay. I'm sorry I did things that did not reflect how important you are to me. I'm sorry I made you feel unvalued. I'm sorry I made it feel like a competition between us. I value our friendship from the bottom of my heart. You are someone that I thought... I'm sorry, I'm tearing up. It's a very close friendship that is broken up, so I've never had this kind of response, so let's continue. I'm sorry you feel unvalued. I'm sorry I made it like a competition between us. I value our friendship from the bottom of my heart. You are someone I thought I would be in my life forever. You supported me through some of my toughest times. I'm sorry I wasn't the same person for you. I should have worked harder on our friendship. If there are other instances where I hurt you, please tell me. My head is still spinning, trying to think about our interactions and things you were referencing specifically. I'm not sure what else you are referencing. Please message me if you want to talk. There could be... One second, I'm going to scroll down. There could be things that were abusive that I'm still not seeing. Can we please talk? Question. I prefer to talk in private because doing this on social media escalates things and messages can be misinterpreted. However, if you do not want to speak in private, I understand. I promise, Aaron, I want to learn from this and grow and be a better person. Part 1. I want to apologize for the amount of time it has taken me to write this apology/explanation document. I needed time to process all of this and unfortunately was unable to actively engage as this was happening. I have talked about this for many years, how when something happens, I need to step back and process the events because my brain needs time to catch up. This was 48 hours of tweets, and I was overwhelmed. Please excuse any grammar and spelling issues. I have now had time to sit with all the details, and I have some things I'd like to talk about. First, I'm going to apologize for multiple things. Second, I'm going to explain my side of the story. I'm not trying to be irrationally defensive, but I do need to defend myself because some statements about me are false, and I have the right to defend myself. I'm here to apologize for mistakes I have made. We are all human. We all make mistakes. How we react to those mistakes and process them is what makes us grow as people. I have outlined a list of aspects I agree that I need to apologize for. I want people who read this to understand that it was never my intention to hurt anyone, and I deeply regret any action of mine that caused harm to anyone. First, I would like to acknowledge the hurt and pain I put Aaron through. I hear you, and I understand the position you are coming from. From the bottom of my heart, it has never been my intention to hurt anyone else. I can admit that, yes, there are things I have said and done that are abusive, and I never had the intention of hurting you. I also realize that just because they aren't intentional, that doesn't mean it didn't hurt you, and I am sorry. I genuinely thought we had a very open and honest relationship. We did have fights, and they were ugly, but I realized my mistakes. I apologized and moved on. I was open with you about my biggest fears and my intrusive thoughts. This was something I'm not open with many people about. In brackets, he writes what the actual thoughts are. End brackets. I thought this was a safe space to do so, but I did not realize that you were not comfortable and felt as though I was abusing and manipulating you. I'm not trying to get sympathy from anyone reading this. I would much rather send this to Aaron personally because this is between us. but I'm getting harassed online like you wouldn't believe. So I feel that posting this letter publicly can potentially help others to understand my position. The way I behave towards you is not acceptable. I want to sincerely apologize. The way you explain the abuse you feel you went through and how I treated you is unacceptable. I've been sitting here for 3 days reflecting on all the tweets and messages, and I've been trying to see it from your side. I can see how there are certain things that are problematic. However, I think there has been very large miscommunication on certain things. I'll go into these after. Right now, I want to focus on apologizing to you personally. Aaron, I am truly sorry that I hurt you. I genuinely did not recognize that you felt the way you did. I'm sorry I did not give you the space to express yourself. I feel as though we had a very open and honest relationship, and I opened up to you often, and I told you my darkest thoughts and things I've feared most. I really thought it was an open space. I'm so sorry that this was building inside of you to the point where you needed to expose it on social media, and even more sorry that you were unable to share it with me with the fear of me being non-responsive and dismissive. I want to apologize 1,000,000 times over, but I do not know. I want to apologize 1,000,000 times over, but I do not know if there is a sufficient way to apologize. It has cut you so deep, and now I am feeling and seeing how deep this is. In quotes, I'm sorry does not undo anything, but I am truly and deeply, honestly sorry to have hurt you so. There are many things you have called me out for, and going through each individual one will take too much time. I want you to know that I have read it, I see it, I acknowledge your pain, and how I am the one who caused it. Below are the apologies I need to give the community. Later on in the document, I will discuss very serious allegations against me regarding stealing, scamming, and hoarding money. Under the title, he writes giveaway help. He continues, I would like to apologize to anyone who has helped me with the giveaways, captions, artwork, and overall help. In brackets, he writes, like sorting through and editing pictures for this summer for a video I was posting, end bracket. It was understood at that time that these were volunteer-based, and in exchange I would give a shout-out / credit to you in the description of the video. Unfortunately, people fell between the cracks, and their efforts and time were not acknowledged. This is my fault completely, and I am sorry. Through reflection, I am realizing that I'm someone who takes on way too many projects at the same time, and I did not prioritize going back into these emails and making sure that each of you were credited. I am sorry for this. I'm absolutely willing to spend an entire day, in brackets or more, end bracket, speaking to each and every one of you and make sure that you are credited in everything you have helped me with. Please reach out to me to express your concerns. I want to hear from you. My intention was never to leave you in the dark or take credit myself. I want to make this right. I want to give you credit where you deserve it. I know I have not shown my appreciation enough, but this will change, in brackets, and should change, end brackets. I have been upfront that this is a volunteer job, I also know this is not an excuse to fall behind on appreciating said volunteers, but I did what at the time I thought was my best. I tried to update the group often, talk to people in the group, but I know I am a busy person and wasn't able to do as much as possible. I wasn't able to do it as much as possible. I sent all my captioners Christmas cards and gave them dibs on t-shirts I was giving away. In brackets, more on this later, in brackets. I'm so sorry if anyone in the group felt this way. I can see how you would see it was this way because it was always a little rushed. However, it was never my intention to make anyone in this group feel uncomfortable and pressured into doing something they did not want to do. I will do better. From now on, I will begin to pay my captioners. This isn't something that, in quotes, solves this problem, but it isn't something that makes the situation better. I am admitting that I have been making mistakes in regards to this, and I want to make it better. I truly appreciate my volunteers, and I will do better to make sure they know and feel that. Under the title Art, he continues, I have commissioned, in brackets, and paid, end bracket, many artists in the past to draw tattoo designs for my channel, banners, logos, t-shirts, music, and more. I would like to apologize to one specific person right now. I don't know if I should name you by name because I wish to respect your privacy. You did the banner for my side channel and did the banner for the giveaways. I paid you for the channel banner. However, we lost touch after the giveaway banner was done. I am so sorry. I completely understand why and how you are frustrated. I see that you tried to contact me twice and I did not open the message. I wasn't ignoring you to get out of paying you. I was, once again, overwhelmed with the amount of messages I received, and this was something I was procrastinating with. I know this is not an appropriate response, and I should absolutely make it a priority to pay, in bold, right away, and bold, for the work people put in. I'm very sorry it went down this way. I want to make this right. If you would like your name added to this document, to the credits of the videos on my side channel, in brackets, in brackets where the banner is and a bracket, and the giveaway forms, I will 100% do that. Please let me know. Under the title, Credit for Aaron's Art. Here he continues, I'm very sorry to Aaron and to anyone involved in this aspect. It was never my intention to make it seem like the art Aaron did for projects we did together to come off as my work. Come. To come off as my work. I thought that adding his name to the description and mentioning his name in brackets some, end bracket, of the videos was crediting his work. I apologize to him for not I apologize to him for not saying his name in the last video where his, in quotes, you can't erase us, end quote, shirt campaign was up. I admit that I was not in the right headspace to be making that video as I did not mention Aaron's name. I did, however, show the t-shirt art, but I did not say his name. I regret this. We texted about this and he said it was fine. However, it is now being brought up again as if I did this maliciously. There was never any malicious intent. I want to share shirt to my viewers. So I showed the design and included the link. I do apologize for not saying Aaron's name in the video. Under the title, Asking People for Money, Chase continues. I want to apologize to anyone who has felt pressured in the last year to donate to me. This was not my intention at all. This last year, I was not in a good financial place, and I genuinely struggling. I'm very grateful for all the financial help I received from my friends, from my followers and friends. This year, my channel was threatened to be deleted. I shared my Patreon account to help me out since the AdSense money was going down. In brackets, he writes, no more ads on videos, no more money, end bracket. I sincerely do not think this is a bad thing to have a Patreon, especially if you offer many perks. I revamped my entire account and offer more live streams and more perks. I am very sorry if anyone felt as though they were being forced to help me out. This was never my intention. I wanted to create a space where people can help me out, are able to, and get fun perks in return. Patreon has been a helpful tool for many content creators, myself included. I am incredibly grateful for all the support I received through Patreon. When I have gigantic giveaways, yes, almost all the products are sent to me for free. However, I do pay for quite a few of them and all the shipping. All is written in capital letters. People have offered to help with shipping. I did not go out looking for it. I am not sure if this is something I need to apologize for, but it is something I want to acknowledge, and it is something I want people to be aware of. All the money that was given to me for giveaways has gone directly into the giveaway. I don't want to pull out literal receipts and numbers, but I have them if people want to see proof. Under the title, Messaging Calvin Guerra. Apologize if I've mispronounced your name, Calvin. Chase writes, I am being accused of horrible things. I don't have the chance to defend myself or tell anyone my side of the story. I was informed by someone that Calvin was going to make a video about me. I looked through my DMs from him and saw, in quotes, "You are so fucked, LMAO. You are not getting away with all this shit," end quotes. I told him to let me give him my side of the story, so I wrote up a quick email, in brackets, that ended up being too long, end brackets, and sent it to him. This was circulated, in brackets. I'm guessing he sent it to Aaron and others, end brackets. And I'm now being called a liar for what was put in this letter. I'm giving my side of things, how I see things, and how I believe things went down. If you are someone who is accused of doing something horrible, like, in all capitals, stealing, end capitals, from the community, and a well-known trans YouTuber who is known for making hateful videos was going to make one about you, dash, wouldn't you try to defend yourself as much as possible? Question mark. In the end, he told me I was manipulating him. And then he writes in bold, I am in no way asking for forgiveness on these points. What I have done is inexcusable, and I am taking accountability for it. We are humans. We make mistakes and we learn from them. Again, I am very sorry. And bold. Part 2, Chase writes, these are very serious allegations, and I need to defend myself. I've tried hard as I can to explain my side of the story without sounding extra, in quotations, defensive, end quotations, without gaslighting, without making myself the victim, without victim blaming, and in capitals, with end capitals, holding myself accountable for those things I did do. I need people to understand that no one is perfect. Aaron is not perfect. I am not perfect. You reading this, you are not perfect either. In capitals, we, end capitals, all make mistakes. Keep in mind that when I defend a certain aspect, I have been accused of, and I bring Aaron and others. I'm not blaming them. I'm simply giving you the context so that you can see it from my side. I will be providing screenshots of conversations and emails to help clear my name of some of the serious allegations. Again, just because I am showing you a screenshot conversation that shows my side of the story, I am, in capitals, not, and capitals, blaming the other person for the action. Instead, I am letting it go and giving you my side of things. Things have been highly miscommunicated and misunderstood, and I hope you read through the rest of this document thoroughly instead of skimming, because the details are extremely important in understanding. I have apologized for the aspects I believe I need to apologize for. Now it is time to defend myself and prove that I did not steal from the community, scam people, keep donation money, keep giveaway money, ask people for money once I was financially stable, manipulate the community into doing free labor, demand more money from Aaron than what was owed to me, that I am only interested in giveaways as a selfish act to make myself look good, that I lied about losing the Mr. Olympias for a giveaway that I, on purpose, messed up the Real Magic giveaway form. First of all, in bold, I and capitals, did not and do not, and bold and capitals, steal from the community in brackets or anyone in general end bracket. I am being accused of keeping all the, in quotation marks, you can't delete us, end quotation marks, money from the company. Took around 4 months to get us the money because we live in, the company took around 4 months to get us the money because we live in Canada. And I had to fill out a W8-BEN form for tax purposes. I understood and put it under my name with the understanding that if this put me over the tax bracket, I would get the taxes back. It did not have to be from the campaign, but it had come from somewhere, in brackets, like the podcast profits, and brackets. We had talked about giving the money to a friend to help him come to Canada and to claim LGBT asylum. I agreed, but was skeptical at the legality of it and how much it would cost, but never said, in quotes, no, I do not want to give him the money, end brackets, or quotation marks. This was brought up once. We didn't talk about the money for some time. I have a hard time remembering why, but I'm going to guess it was because we have been super busy with school and work and so on. Once it was brought up, in these Twitter threads, I realized that I did, in fact, still have the money in my PayPal account. I thought it had been transferred when, this person's name I can't pronounce very well, Karina, It's spelled K-A-R-Y-N-A. My apologies. And I were trying to settle the accounts from one PayPal to the other. So, of course, the second I saw that the money was still there, I sent it directly to the podcast PayPal, the entire amount, in brackets, around $3,600 and bracket. I know many people might feel like this was way too suspicious, but from the bottom of my heart, I thought it had already been transferred. If Aaron mentioned it to me recently, that it hadn't been transferred, or even if Karina would have messaged me, I would have sent it right away, realizing that it hadn't yet been sent. I'm so sorry that it looks like I was hoarding this money and keeping the money to myself. I hadn't gone in my PayPal for some time, so when I went in and saw this huge amount, I was shocked. I felt the need to explain myself here because I'm being accused of keeping and stealing this money with no intention of giving it back to the community. This was, in capitals, never, and capitals, my intention. This was simply a misunderstanding. In future, I will be more careful and pay more attention to where the money is and where it is supposed to be. In regards to taxes, this is personal finance stuff. I don't feel very comfortable going into this. Just know that Aaron and I agreed multiple times that if the podcast profits and money from this t-shirt campaign made me pay more taxes, in brackets, which it would, I believe that's an end bracket there, maybe not by 40%, but because the income is higher, the tax percent is the same. The amount goes up. I'm not an accountant. I was not aware of this at the time. I thought that I would have to pay 40% of the total of my income. Let me start over. I thought I would have to pay 40% of the total of my income, in capitals, before, and capitals, the expenses deduction. I'm sorry I was ill-informed. I will be sure to research tax stuff and things of this nature in future in order to do better. It was never my intention to take 40% of these earnings and keep it for myself. They were strictly for tax purposes. Aaron knows this, and he explained that there is no way I would be in a 40% tax bracket. I should have researched more, but I didn't. Instead, I chose not to believe him and decided to speak to an accountant instead. This was a gigantic mistake. I am sorry. The full amount of money is now 100% in the podcast PayPal account. I absolutely see how this situation can be misinterpreted though, and I want to make sure people understand my side of things. In regards to the money that I lent Aaron in 2016, Aaron had tax issues and I was in a tough spot, so I offered him some money. My one and only condition, pay me back in one shot eventually. As in, I don't want $100 here, $50 there. It's too hard for me to keep track of that, so it's better for me to get the entire amount back in one shot. No matter how long it takes. There was never a deadline or pressure to pay me back. Only thing I asked for was, give it all in one shot. He agreed to this, and I happily sent him $2,500. Fast forward 1.5 years later, We have not talked about the loan whatsoever, to the point where I even forgot about it. I was working on my finances and noticed a chunk missing. My partner reminded me that I had lent Aaron some money. I wasn't expecting the money at that time. Even when I lent it to him in 2006, I knew I would not have it by the end of 2008. There was no time expectation. I sent him a very nice message. Here he shows his text messages. I just have to increase the font size so I can read it. And move it over. Okay. In a text message, he copied into this document that happened on October 13th, 2018 at 12:50 p.m. to Aaron Lil B. Hey, I know this is awkward to bring up, but I want to have open communication with you because I think that's important. I'm going through my finances to make sure I have everything situated for tax season, and I just wanted to touch base with you about where your thoughts are on paying me back the loan money from your taxes last year. No pressure in capitals at all, and capitals, dash, seriously, LOL. I just want us to be on the same page, question mark, let me know, squiggle. Aaron responds on October 13th, 2018 at 12:51 p.m. from Aaron Littleby. I don't even have 1/5 of that money to give back to you, but one day I will. And then Chase continues with his apology letter. There was absolutely zero pressure from me to have the money back right away. I just wanted to make sure Aaron remembered, in brackets, because I had forgotten, in brackets, and if he had a plan or a vague idea of when he would pay it back. Again, I did not expect this money. Honestly, he could pay me back in 10 years. As long as we have an open conversation about it and up to date where he's at, just so I know he still remembers, and that's good for me. I can see how some can see this as emotional abuse, emotional manipulation, as it appears I'm keeping tabs on his expenses. This is not the case for me at all. I'm simply looking for an update from time to time, even if it's still in quotes. I have zero money saved up, end quotes. At least I know he remembers, in brackets, he writes. I have the rest of that conversation in screenshots if people want to see it. I didn't see the need to add it to the document because it's long. But if you want to see it, I'll add it, end bracket. In terms of asking Aaron for more money, I'm just going to scroll down and I can't see my cursor. There it is. Here. In terms of asking Aaron for more money, this is simply not true. When this was brought up, Aaron needed to figure out a way to pay me back, and he came up with the idea of giving me back the money through his side of the podcast money. This makes sense to me. We have never touched the podcast money. We have never paid each other back for the expenses we have made. In brackets, Aaron with parking and gas to come to my house, and me booking flights, hotels, buying merch, and so on, in bracket. So we had the money in the account to do both, in brackets, pay back expenses, and with his side of the profits, pay off his loan, end brackets. Karina, in brackets, Aaron's girlfriend, end brackets, has taken care of our financial Excel sheet for some time now, and I noticed that some of the numbers didn't seem right to me. I wanted clarification because I was confused. I wrote Karina, and she was, in capitals, super, in capitals, nice, and trying to be super helpful. I can understand that for some people this makes sense to them, but for me it didn't, and I needed it to be explained to me. I'm not great with Excel. Please do not shame me for not understanding this document. Here are the screenshots of the conversation with Karina, colon. Can't see my cursor. It's behind the camera. I should move the camera. Oh goodness, I don't know how I'm going to show you this. Okay, I'll try. I have to zoom in. These are, I'm reading the screenshots that he included in this message. So it says Tuesday at 8:09 a.m. Hey, remaining profit is what's left over after you pay out all the other balances owing. That's why your, in capitals, remaining and capitals profits between you and Aaron are the same, because that's what's in capitals remaining and capitals after payout. So you split it 50-50. Everything is one spreadsheet, so it's easier to see and we don't have to manage 100 different spreadsheets. The amount Aaron owes you are all in the spreadsheet, cleanly laid out, and there's no reason to have a different one. I believe that was Karina writing, and then Chase writes, I'm just confused because Aaron told me he would pay me back with his profits. But the way the sheet looks, it looks like the 2,500 is coming out of the total podcast money, and then after the profits are shared. This would mean that I'm actually only getting half from him. No, I'm just confused. I believe he's talking to Karina here. I'm just going to scroll up, make sure I got it right. Conversation with Karina. Okay, so Karina writes back. The 2,500 is coming out of his side of the profits. Whatever is remaining after that would be half-half. A really easy way to understand this is if you go to the sheet and erase the 2,500 that's in brackets. Under Aaron's side, your profits go down by 2,500, not by half. Chase writes, I'm sorry, I'm just not understanding. Why would my profits go down and be less than Aaron's if he's paying me back? I don't understand where the money is coming from. Like, if after Aaron is paid back and I'm paid back for the expenses and stuff, in brackets, not the 2,500 loan, in brackets, and the total remaining profits are 10,000, then we split that in two. That's 5,000 each. But then he owes me 2,500. So wouldn't that be 2,500 for him and 7,500 for me? Question mark. Look, I'm not trying to be an asshole, I promise, but I'm literally and legitimately confused. I'm confused too. Karina writes, give me an hour, okay? Question mark. I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just getting ready for work, and then I'll try to make it more clear once I'm in front of my computer and can access the spreadsheet more easily to explain. Chase writes, okay, sounds good. Karina writes, on Tuesday at 9:29 a.m. Okay, so let me see if I can break this down. Let me know if it doesn't make sense, but I'll try to explain it in different ways. So, of the, in quotes, paybacks, end quotes, it includes any money you are owed or you owe. In brackets, example, Aaron's 2,500 owed to you or t-shirt money earned, etc. So all the money going in and money going out is in this payback section. It makes it easier to do it this way because when we are able to take the remaining amounts, the R in remaining is capitalized, which is in capital T total capital M money, the podcast earned minus the payback section we just spoke about. Okay, so it's the total, in quote, this, in quotes, total dash payback, end quote, is split 50-50. Because whatever is left after, in quotes, payback, end quote, of all O's or 2's, so it's owed evenly to both of you. You'll see though that after all of Aaron's money in and money out, before you add capital R remaining, capital P profits, he, all in capital O's and capitals, the podcast, $307. So technically, though it looks like your remaining profit is 50-50, if you look at the financial profits, he is the $5,715 minus $307 he owes, so his financial profit is only $5,400. So a way to make it more visible is if you go under Aaron's and you remove the $2,500, you'll see it changes both the amounts by $2,500 total. This is a quick way to see that you're not getting half of what you're owed. I did it this way because instead of owing each other, in quotes, here and there and here and there, end quotes, just make it all owed to the podcast, and that way everyone knows their, in quotes, total, in quotes, capital F, financial, capital T, total, end quotes. But I understand that it might be overwhelming, so let me know if this makes sense. If not, I'll try and find a way to rethink it so that it makes more sense to you, ! Also, feel free to ask any more questions about what I said or about about the spreadsheets. If there is anything else, I appreciate you asking the questions like you did this morning rather than assuming, ! And then one of those, a blushy, like, joy face. Chase writes, thanks for the explanation. I'll look over this a bit later. I'm busy right now. He writes, Tuesday, 3:13 p.m. No worries, ! Karina writes. Let me know when you look at it, and if you have any questions. Again, blushing joy. And then it says, yesterday, 12:24 p.m. Chase writes, I don't want to assume anything, but that's why I am on, in quotes, view only, end quotes, on the YSB expenses document, ? I was able to edit before, and now it seems that it has changed. I would also like to know why you were being so nice to me 2 days ago when I was asking for an explanation, and later on that day it seems that me asking those questions and being confused was used against me, as in me demanding more money, ? When I literally did not understand the document. Karina writes, hey, I'm at work, but when I get home, I'll update it so you can edit again. It might have changed for all the editors when I switched it to, and then the message is like cut off at the bottom there. Chase continues with his apology letter here. As you can see, it was well received, and we have grown up. We had a grown-up conversation about this. However, shortly after this document was leaked online. I used the word, in quotes, leaked, end quotes, Because this is a private business financial document that Aaron and I own together, I did not give my consent to have this information put on the internet. The context that this was posted was very confusing as well. I have seen so many comments of people either not understanding the document or interpreting it in a different way than it actually is. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but because my side of the money owed to me is $3,000 and Aaron's is $5,000, it looks like I am taking more money from the podcast. The document doesn't properly explain what you see. Almost all the money owed to me is not profits. It is expenses from the last 2.5 years that I've paid for the podcast. I did not complain about this, in brackets he writes. And I'm not complaining now, in brackets. Aaron and I both agreed that whatever expenses were for the podcast, we would repay ourselves with podcast money. We have never gotten around to it, which is why the amount is so high. Aaron was paid back for parking and gas, and I was paid back for hotels, merch, etc., etc. I feel that there are a lot of people who are taking this document as, in quotes, proof, and quotes, that I am stealing from the community and stealing from Aaron, when in reality is that when the reality is that I am simply getting paid back what I was owed from the podcast and from Aaron. So, to clarify, this document is just showing everyone how much of my personal money I invested in the podcast. The confusion with Corinna and the document was resolved. So again, very confused as to why this was brought up. I feel I need to bring this up because apparently I am, in quotes, still harassing him for money, end quotes. My friend Mike was one of the only people online reacting and wanting to help clear my name. He was DMing one person about the situation and explained that Aaron still owed me a bunch of money. Mike was unaware at the time we had a spreadsheet and had already figured out how we were going to divide up the PayPal expenses and loan money. Mike also made some comments regarding Aaron being, in quotes, off his meds, end quotes, and mentioning ASD, but since apologized. I feel the need to mention this because people keep saying I am the one who said those words. I am not. Mike has taken responsibility for his words and wrote an apology online after informing himself. In terms of being accused of charging Aaron for expenses, I'm really not sure where this is coming from. The only thing I can think of at this moment is whenever we would have breakfast or lunch or buy something for a conference, I would say, in quotes, "Oh, that's a business expense, exclamation mark," end quotes. This is not charging Aaron. This is getting the money back from the podcast on a podcast business trip. If these points need to be further discussed, I would love some context because I genuinely am not sure what you are referring to. Under the title T-shirt giveaway, I'm being accused of having this T-shirt giveaway without Aaron knowing. Also that it is suspicious that I added the podcast merch shop link to the post. I'm only adding the link so that people who wanted a shirt could see what the design looked like. I'm not trying to promote the shop whatsoever. I would even shut down the merch shop if he feels like we should. I'd asked him to take the bins of shirts because I was moving from a 3-room apartment to a small room shared space and did not have room for all this big bin. This is how the conversation unfolded. And then he quotes a text message on October 13th, 18 at 9:20 p.m. to Aaron Melby. Would you be able to take the bin of extra shirts? Please? My room is so small and I have so much shit and I have nowhere to put it. Same thing with podcast letters and stuff. It's literally 2 bins and then :/ which makes a kind of face. Aaron responds on October 20th, 2018 at 12:02 a.m. from Aaron Littleby. I think we should maybe just donate them like ... legit at a village des Value, which means, I believe, Value Village in French. Which in Canada, Value Village is like you donate your gently used clothing or household items, and then you can, other people who are underemployed or in poverty can purchase them at a lower rate. It's similar to like a Salvation Army store or whatnot. Okay, Aaron continues. I share a 1-bedroom apartment with 1 closet with a hoarder, LMAO. And then again on October 20, 2018 at 12:02 a.m., Aaron Melby writes, here is my nightmare fuel, ... Chase writes in his apology in brackets, this conversation is long, and Aaron sends me a picture of his crowded house. Again, if you want to see screenshots, I can post them, but it adds a lot more to the document, just let me know, and bracket. Aaron then writes, same day at 12:04 a.m., Aaron Melby, Chase, I literally lose my breath every time I walk in here, LMFAO. At 12:05, same day, it's like living in a storage unit. Again at 12:05 a.m., same day, but in capitals, anyway, LMAO, and capitals, it was just to show you, like, I'm literally not trying to be a dick. We have a desk in front of bookshelves. Again, same day, same time, he writes, like I absolutely would if I didn't live in a circus. Same day, same time, he writes, I could always see if I can store them in my dad's garage or Karina's grandmother's garage, ? In brackets, that's where I store my winter tires, and brackets. But it's pretty wet in there. I don't think they would make it through the winter. Same day at 12:07 a.m., Aaron writes, or we can donate them to P10, LOL. Same day at 12:09 a.m., Chase writes, so realistically, I don't know what we're going to do with those shirts in the long run. So donating is the best idea. I know 1 million people online would want them, but I can't be in charge of that and shipping them out. He writes at 12:13 a.m., same day. Same day at 12:18 a.m., Aaron writes, I'll see if the P10 would take them, and then I can announce it that people can go grab them for free. Chase writes at 12:16 a.m., same day, true. Chase continues his apology letter. In summary, we discussed donating the shirts. Fast forward 2 weeks later, Aaron asked me to respect his boundary of not getting in contact with him. It's now December, and I, in capitals, need and capitals this bin of shirts out of my room. It's taking up too much space. So we have agreed to do a giveaway. I originally did not want to be in charge of it because I have too much on my plate already, but I wasn't able to contact Aaron, in brackets, out of respect for his boundaries and brackets. So I decided to just give them away. Looking back now, I can see that is frustrating and that I did not ask him permission. I should have dealt with the shirts being in my room for a little longer, but it was starting to really get to me and I needed to do something about it because of everything that was going on right now. I had to put the shirt giveaway on hold. I'd like to talk to Aaron about it privately, and I will message all the people who have won to let them know there will be a slight delay. All the winners are selected and will remain the same. I deeply apologize for this miscommunication. I will end this by briefly going over 4 more things. 1. I love investing time in giveaways because not that long ago, I remember what it was like to not have a binder or not be able to live with myself if I didn't have a packer. It wasn't that long ago. I truly believe that I found my life purpose. I love being a role model for the community that is open about their life and body positive and open about their mental health and shows folks that there is a future for trans youth who do not feel supported. The giveaways are very stressful, and I guess I talk about them too much. But to me, they are worth it because of how many people they help, not because of how it makes me look. Even if my reputation is not the same after all of this, I'm still going to invest time and energy into giveaways because that is where my heart is if I still have the platform to do so. 2. Me, in quotes, sneaking, end quotes, into a post-op phalloplasty group on Facebook with, in quotes, fake, end quotes, surgery documents. I don't know where Aaron is getting this information from, but that group is for people who are in active process of having phallo or have had it. If you need a consultation letter to get into this group. I had a consult with a surgeon. This is really personal information to be sharing, but what I want in terms of bottom surgery is not offered in Quebec. I have to wait until I move provinces. I have been very vocal about this in the past. I did not sneak into this group. If people in the group do not want me to be part of it because I am currently just waiting until I can move to a province that will cover out-of-country surgery, out-of-country is written out-of-country surgery, then I understand and I will leave the group. Number 3, I did not turn the Patreon back on. I have no idea why people were charged. The best guess is that it accidentally only paused for a month. Point 4. We should all support and believe victims. That's not something that should be taken lightly. He continues in conclusion after these points. I know this was really long. Thank you for sticking with me until the end. I know this isn't going to fix everything, but I hope it sheds some light onto the situation. Keep in mind, not one perspective in any situation is 100% truth or reality. So many things about our experience shape how we perceive the situation. So many things about our experience shape how we perceive the situation. You have watched me grow up into the person that I am today over the last 12 years. You have seen my happiest moments, my biggest challenges, my proudest accomplishments, my most heartbreaking struggles. I'm so inspired by the resilience and love within this community. I know things feel really out of place and upsetting right now. Take time for yourself to process the emotions you're feeling right now. I'm sorry this has been such an emotional struggle for everyone who is following this. There's no reason to pick sides. Things are not yes or no boxes. Things are not in yes or no boxes. And we can all learn how to live in this world together. As you're deciding whether or not you feel like you can begin to trust me again, take a moment to think about what your heart tells you.